Hi, and welcome to today's segment of Local SEO Today. I'm Roger Murphy.
And I'm John Vaughn.
Today we want to talk to business owners who are watching this video with regards to, really it's about time management, maybe some tips and tricks when it comes to operating your business, there's so many different things that are going on every day. You're being pulled in different directions. John, you can appreciate that. Starting a business 5 years ago, think of all the different hats you're wearing. Talk a little bit about what you found in the early days and what maybe you've learned along the way.
Yeah, so allocating your time accordingly based on X amount of hours a day. You're going to be pulled in so many directions, from marketing to sales to operations to customers, accounting, processes, you name it. There's going to be so much going on, right? So where do you allocate your time and what should you focus on?
Sure.
So it all depends on where you're at in terms of your business. Because really at the beginning, I was working a lot more hours and trying to learn time management and trying to allocate accordingly. But again, there's only so much you can do in a given day, right? So really best practice is trying to figure out what your ultimate goal is. Where do you see yourself in 3, 5, 20 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line? How can you save time ultimately? Because then if you figure out a system, if you have processes in place, people in place for things that you don't want to actually do, but you can hand off to some of your employees, then you can focus on what you actually enjoy doing as a business owner, and really that will allow you to grow your business, become very passionate as what you're doing.
One of the key things that every business is inundated with is emails every day, and that's some of the research we've seen, and we all can relate to it. For time management, a tip or trick is to look and carve out a piece of time during the day. Depending on your business, it might be different. Some might be able to get away with, I don't touch my emails till the end of the day, or I do them first thing in the morning, but then, you have to respond to whatever you're going to do with them, do it right away. Don't let it drag through the day, because it just wears down your effectiveness. So one tip for sure, I've seen it, and John, I'm sure you have also, I cannot spend all day going back and forth checking my emails. It takes some discipline, but if you decide, and you can try the morning, do it just then, but you leave it alone for the rest of the day, or alternately wait till the end of the day.
So I concur with you. The big difference for an emergency type of business, however, is someone's stuck. They're in a jam, right?
Yes.
They need an answer right away. So for those situations, you may want someone in your staff or someone that just manages some of your emails during some of the peak hours, operating hours, revenue generating hours, so that you can actually deliver on those type of clients, right? And ultimately, if someone's very interested or they do have an emergency about your service, they're going to pick up the phone and call you, because that's the ultimate, right? Someone needs something right away, right? Another very important factor is to have a kind of task list or a to-do list throughout the day or throughout the week, and basically cross it off as the days goes by, right? So make sure if there's a certain project that you're working on, allocate it accordingly, set aside X amount of hours. Once it's complete, cross it off and move on.
Good idea. And to your point a moment or two ago, talking about looking at yourself 1, 3, 5, 20 years down the road, really, we only live in the day. So this idea of being most efficient, and we're all given the same 24 hours a day. You've got to balance, if you've got family, you've got to balance your family life. You have to balance your health. You have to eat well. You have to be able to sleep and stay rested. So productive time during the day, that's what we're really talking about, is how to get the most out of it so that you're growing your business.
And there's a lot of software and tools available to increase your efficiency, right? What kind of email are you using? What kind of software and platforms are you using? In terms of accounting software, are you using something that's cloud-based? Are you using storage that your team can share, right? Google Drive, Dropbox, etc. There's a lot of things that can increase efficiency. What is your sales CRM like, right? Is it a Salesforce kind of online platform? stuff that you can actually save time with some of the new tools and apps out there, right? So implement where you feel that will save you the most time. And if you don't like doing something, get someone to do that task, right? So hire a virtual assistant, or hire someone that's dedicated for stuff that you're not strong at, and it'll take you longer to learn and do it well than hiring someone to do it.
And these tips and tricks, they're going to obviously be slightly different depending on you, your business. If you're a brand new entrepreneur getting going, you're committed to this life project, this adventure. You're going to have to throw more time at it. As time evolves and you've done bootstrapping in the early days, John, really to grow the business, which is what you did 5 years ago to get the business going. When the business starts rolling and there's revenue coming in, that's when you can start looking at adding staff and adding team members so you become more efficient and more people have tasks. Everyone's got their own duty, so to speak, so people become more efficient.
Yeah, so really understanding how valuable your time is, because ultimately you have X amount of hours throughout the day.
Yes.
And there's only so many hours that's productive revenue generating hours, which is work hours. So how do you focus on generating revenue those times, and the hours that you're not generating revenue, those are where you can do the clerical work, right? So focus on, when you can make money, start making that money, because you never know when you're not, things might be a little bit more difficult, especially for seasonal businesses as well. Focus on when you're going to be making the money, and you might be only working 6 months a year, but those 6 months you're probably working 14, 16 hours.
I've met many business owners over the years that are seasonal, and they know that they go from sunrise to sunset just because that's when the business happens. There's an old saying in the farming community, you make hay while the sun's shining. That is when you've got to get the job done. But in the off season, which might be the wintertime, that's when it's a little maybe slower. You can repair equipment. You can be doing self-education. There's so many other things you can do to build your understanding and your learnings of the industry.
So making sure that you have a well-balanced life as well, because that is as important. Because like you mentioned, if you don't have health and wealth, you'll not have wealth, right? Because ultimately, if you don't have energy to perform throughout the day, you don't have enough sleep, your food, you're not eating well, you're not exercising, your significant other, if you are married, or your children, you're not spending time with them, something's going to give. So you have to remember why you're doing this.
Yes.
What's the purpose of why you're in business in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So there's so much to consider when you're running a business, and really time management is so critical in terms of how you are successful or not, right? Because if you're spending time not generating revenue during those revenue generating hours, well, you're missing out, right?
So some of it you've got to take care of yourself. Some of it you got to take care of your family and your baby, which is your business. You got to take care of that. So you're going to be pulled in many different directions. The idea of automate, use the tools. There's so many tools online now, as you say. There's accounting softwares. There's actually softwares now that after a job is done, it automates and sends a message to your client. Were you happy with our service? It's all automated for you. So there's all these things can save you time and help build your business, because you need reviews too.
Yeah, so reputation, there's social media software, any tool to really enhance your time management, right? And ultimately have fun.
Sure.
And people will realize that you're in business and you actually want to help when they can see that you're passionate.
That's it.
Right? So they can see that you really care, right? Because why are you in business in the first place? Really understand why you're doing this.
Exactly. Well, I think we had some great tips here today. Certainly in terms of, we all know about email, so think about that. Carve out the time. Don't let it be your master. You only work on it when you can deal with it, and then you set it off to the side. So, and the other tips, of course, automate. Use the software that's available out there.
To-do lists.
Yep, to-do lists.
Make sure you're
And it feels
check it
good
out.
when you check off that list. Here's the 10 things I needed to get done today. Done. Boom. So.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
Well, thanks a lot, Roger.
Thank you, John, and have a great day.
Thank you.